What's going on, everyone? This is Brian Ka. I think the last time I recorded myself on my cell phone could be 3 years ago, possibly more, probably more. May take some time for me to kind of get used to talking on the microphone again. But the reason why I wanted to record something or may make several recordings is because I didn't see that much information on YouTube or any other platforms, as a matter of fact, that talks about the baby bar exam. Some of you guys may know this exam as first year law students exam. So I wanted to make videos to talk to you guys who are either taking the test, planning to take the test, but don't know what to do. If you search for the baby bar exam, you may see bar prep teachers or attorneys or some third-party bar prep companies that talk about them, but there are only about 2 or 3 videos of persons who are going to help you to pass this exam. So let me just briefly introduce myself to tell you why I should be qualified to talk to you honestly about this exam. So I have failed a lot in life, as you can see. Maybe you can't see it well. Now I have a bunch of gray hairs, and this life has taken a toll on me. So I'm not so young anymore. I'm in my 40s. Some of you guys may call me a late bloomer. I don't know if I can identify with that, because I went through a lot. I'm not here to talk about what I went through, but I did go through many things in life. You can call it trauma, you can call it hardship, you can call it whatever it is. I've been through a lot, and law school was and still is one of them. The reason being is because I don't have any lawyers in my family. I didn't have anybody who could teach me what this baby bar exam was going to be about. I didn't have, when I was going to law school, I'm still back now, but I didn't have anybody who told me that the case briefs that you're going to do in your classes will have nothing to do with whether or not you can pass the baby bar exam. I think that bar prep attorneys or bar prep companies may give you many perspectives. They may help you, but coming from a person who's been through, hell and back, and who's also been through this thing called law school, I'm not proud to say, but I repeated first year 3 times. So I did my first year, and I wasn't allowed to become a 2L. So I went to another law school, and I did another year, and they said that I had to do another year if I wanted to take the bar exam, the baby bar exam. So I did another year. So I did 3 years of 1L. That's how long it normally takes for other students to finish law school. So, I did contracts, torts, and criminal law, over and over and over again for 3 years. And then I took the bar exam in 2000, baby bar exam in 2015. And I failed. I got 60 on contracts. I got 65, 65, and another 65. So the essay portion wasn't bad, because normally people can pass with a 65 or a 70 as long as you get a high enough MBE score. My MBE score wasn't good. It was 50 out of 100. So I had 60, 65, 65, 65, and 50 out of 100. So obviously that wasn't a pass. At the time I was devastated. This is in 2015. And 9 years have passed. And there are many things that's happened to me. I'm not here to talk about what specific hardships I went through, because this first video is gonna be like a brief summary on why you should never give up when it comes to the baby bar exam, and hopefully in my subsequent videos I can get into details on what you should do to prepare. So last year, I believe it was like around August, I decided to pick up again from where I left, which was in 2015, because that's when I failed the baby bar exam. And 9 years have passed, but I always knew that I would be back. And I always had the tests that I didn't pass, the 4 exam papers that they returned to me after 2015. I always carry that with me. I didn't throw them away, because it was like a symbol of me, or reminding myself to pick up again and try when the time is right. So last August was when I realized that it's finally time for me to try again, because all these other things that were happening in my life, it's still happening even now, but it just felt right. So I started studying for it. The difference between 2015 and now is, or last year August, was that this time I knew that I had to memorize the law, like front and back. I kind of knew the law in 2015, but this time I knew that it'll take me literally like rote memorization of each black letter law when it comes to the 3 subjects: contracts, torts, criminal law. So I had so many outlines, not outlines that I made, but when I was trying to take the test in 2015, I purchased like 4 or 5 outlines from different companies, and I never threw them away. It was always on my bookshelf. So I pulled everything out and I tried to find the one that made more sense to me, because there are outlines that make it really hard for you to understand these black letter laws, and there are outlines that kind of make it easy, but there'll be sections where it'll be kind of hard for you to understand. So I chose foldies, and like it was really nasty and dirty because 9 years had passed and it was everywhere. So I collected them all. I organized it again and I started reviewing it every day. I started with contracts because I got 60 out of other subjects. In writing, that's the only one which I had gotten 60 in, so obviously that was my weakest. So I started just memorizing it literally from front to back. I remember in 2015, like concepts like third party beneficiaries, things like that. I kind of knew it, but I didn't have a full understanding of what I know now. So I knew that unless I know everything front and back, that I have no chance of passing. So I remember starting with contracts outline, and I studied it all day. I read through it. If there are parts that I didn't understand, I pulled out other outlines and tried to see if those outlines explained it better. So I was working with like 4 or 5 outlines, and then I was looking at Gilbert, and this time I made sure to do almost every page. And as you know, Gilbert's law outlines are pretty thick, like torts. I believe it's like definitely like around 300 pages or more. I'm not sure, but it's a thick book. But I've done everything. Like if there are concepts that I didn't understand, I went to Gilbert's and I looked at everything, and I tried to really make it my own. So after contracts, I looked at torts. And one thing about torts is that I always thought that torts was easy. But after 9 years, when I looked over torts again, it seemed like it was the hardest one out of them all. I think in 2015, I kind of did a cursory job of just trying to memorize like negligence, intentional torts, and just defenses. Kind of knew them, but not like now. And product liability, I kind of knew it, but I didn't know the elements as well as I should. So this time, when it came to torts, I really looked into it, and I looked into it deeply and in detailed fashion. Criminal law, I feel like it's the easiest one out of them all because there are a lot of overlapping parts when it comes to criminal law and torts. So I reviewed them last. So I think I did about August, September, November, December. I reviewed these outlines for about, I don't know why, but my nose is itchy. I just took a shower. I've been playing a lot of basketball, so I've been sweating a lot and showering, but for some reason, I have a fan, but it's itchy. Anyway, criminal law, I went over the outline, and I just really studied them this time. Actually, the word that I should use is memorize them. I'm good at creative stuff, but when it comes to memorizing, I didn't really want to do it. But this time, I memorized them all. Like defenses, privacy torts. Those are subjects that is kind of hard to fully understand if you're in your first year of law school, because it takes time. But as you know, this test is a test to weed you out. They don't want you to pass. That's why there's only, I believe it was like 18% pass rate, 25 pass rate if it was a good year or a good exam. So think about it. 10 people take it, 2 people pass on average. So it's like a gatekeeper. I'm sure you've heard of that term. It's a gatekeeping mechanism for the bar to weed out people who are gonna just not understand it. And even me, repeating first year 3 times and then being eligible to take it and then failing the first time. So interesting thing happened. I'm gonna try to make this video less than 30 minutes, but interesting thing happened, and that is, in the midst of studying for this baby bar exam, they sent the State Bar of California, they sent a letter or an email saying that the writing portion of the essays will be excluded. But they said that they're gonna send a confirmation email to tell us whether or not that's been confirmed. So when I first got that email, I was kind of disappointed because I felt like my writing was the stronger part of my skills. And I spent so much time looking over at every single past baby bar exam, because my plan was to first study the outlines or memorize them all on these 3 subjects, go through every single test at least twice or 3 times if I could. I think I went over every single test at least twice, and then I got that email. And then I was gonna spend the rest doing practice MBE exams, because that was my weakest link. I got 50 out of 100 in 2015. So I got that email, and I was thinking, man, like, that sucks, I was really preparing for writing, but now I had to change my strategy and just go all out on multiple choice, even though that wasn't confirmed. But if they send you an email like that, most likely, they're gonna decide on excluding the essay portion. So that's what happened. So in 2015, and I'm not here to sell a service or bar exam company, but AdaptiBar, they make you pay again. I think it's pretty expensive too, maybe like 500 or more. And if you fail, instead of them letting you take it again, they make you pay again, I believe. Maybe it's different now, but that was my understanding. I didn't have like 400, like 499 or like something like that. I didn't have that. You know, I'm a businessman, but you know, I don't make a lot of money. You know, I'm designing. I'm a clothing designer. I'm a web developer, and you know, I've never hit it big. So you know, I'm always in a thrift mode. So you know, I had to find a way around it. Back in 2015, I did both AdaptiBar and BarMax. And luckily, after 9 years, I logged into BarMax. And my account was still alive, which was amazing. There was an incident where BarMax, or maybe because they do weird things with my life when it comes to online. So they may create a whole different, separate, you know, online company just for me to log in there. But that's another whole story. But you know, when I first logged in there after 9 years, like it was hacked, and you know they made me go to a page so I can pay them like, you know, another like $500 or something. But something was fishy because I develop websites. When I see something online, I know something's not right. So something wasn't right, and because of that, I didn't pay. You know, I just kept trying to log in for like, you know, a week or so. But after a week, that fake page disappeared, and I was finally able to log into the BarMax page. And luckily, my account again was alive. They had great outlines. And again, I'm not here to sell BarMax at all. I'm just telling you my experience. And I believe they have, I'm not sure exactly how many MBE questions that they have, but probably like around 800,000, maybe more. And I was allowed to do MBEs for free because in 2015 I had paid for it. And I'm really thankful because BarMax saved my life. So at that point, I knew that I had to do MBEs like crazy. So I think they have around, I don't know, around 1,000, maybe more. I did every question 3 times because there's a section on a mix of 3 subjects. So I did that 3 times or maybe more. A section on torts, I did that like 3 times, meaning like I would do it from the beginning to the end, like 300 questions. And I would do it again. And then I would do it again. And I did that for criminal law section. I did that for contract section. Now that I think about it, I think I really wanted it because after 9 years, I emailed my law school and they told me if you don't pass, you're gonna have to do another year, basically. Because I emailed our dean like last year in August, because when I emailed the state bar, they said that I am eligible to take the test, but I have to talk to my law school because they may say different. So when I talked to my dean, he said that he wasn't optimistic. First, he said he's never had a student who paused for like 9 years and passed. And he was a little bit incredulous. I have nothing against him. I love him, but because he's a nice guy. But he was still, encouraging, saying, you can try AdaptiBar, you can try all these little, not little, companies that offer this baby bar prep. But like the registrar who's responsible for taking in new students, she said on her email, if you don't pass, we'd love to take you in as a first year student again. So at the time, I was kind of angry because of what she had said, but now that I think about it, it's good that she said that, because I really didn't want to do another year. That's 4 years of first year, and normally people go to law school for 3 years, but I almost had to do 4 years of first year. That's like what, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I already spent like 30,000 or more, because I spent a lot on books and outlines and all that. So possibly around like 34,000, 34,000, and then I had to pay another 10,000 to repeat my first year again. No, actually, the bar exam itself is $1,000, so I might have spent close to $40,000 just to, get to where I am now. But, I use that as a motivation factor. I really didn't want to repeat again. So I took the test. It was sometime in June. It was at a Prometric center in somewhere in Culver City. You had to sit down and do 50 questions first, and then another 50 questions. And for this video, I'm gonna end with this. When I finished the test, I didn't feel good about it. Why? Because even though I had done so many MBE questions over and over and over again through BarMax, that test was hard. Like, some people who have taken the test has said that there are a lot of repeat questions, but I didn't see any repeat questions. Like, they would use similar scenarios, but would ask a completely different question. So I think that's because since they got rid of the essay section, maybe they had to make the MBEs more difficult. And it was difficult. And that's why, until I found out the result, I was really stressed out. And I told you, like, I don't quit. And because I don't quit, if I didn't pass this test, I would have had to do another first year, a total of 4 years. And I'm over 40. So it means, some of my friends have been practicing law for like 18 years now, 19 years now. Me, you know, starting at 40 like years old of age. I'm more than 40 now, but that wasn't a, you know, entertaining thought. And to make the matters worse, they lagged the examination results, meaning because they changed the test from writing and MBEs to just MBEs, they sent me an email saying, you know, it's gonna be another like 2 weeks because they're gonna have a meeting to see whether or not they should lower or raise the bar score. So that was not fun. Like now I feel a lot better because I didn't think I passed, because it was a hard test. But, you know, a couple days ago I checked and there it was, pass. And I emailed my school right away, and now they're enrolling me in trial advocacy, basically how to argue in court and some rules, I guess, and community property. So in my subsequent videos, I'm gonna go more into what you need to do to pass this test. Again, there are some people who has made videos on this subject, but I probably have the best experience to talk about this to you. And my goal is to, I mean, I'm gonna be a busy man. I'm running multiple businesses, clothing brands, and now I'm gonna be doing law school again. But whenever I have a chance, I'm gonna get in front of the camera and teach you how to go through this, because I've always been alone. Even now I'm really old, you know. I'm still single. And I never had anybody who can kind of run me through this, tell me exactly what I need to do, because everybody just kind of goes in circles, you know. Nobody wants you to do well. At least, you know, where I'm at, you know. It's a competitive world, and they don't want to see you succeed. But here, I want to see you succeed. And what's good about passing the baby bar exam is you know what to do for the real bar exam. Like, I'm gonna spend my next 3 years just studying for the bar exam. School is school, you know. But I'm gonna take it as, okay, like, I have 3 years to study for the bar exam, and I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I know exactly how to study for it. So, if you can make this experience as a stepping stone to do better in your legal career as a student, I think it's a good thing. And even though, because obviously if you're watching this, you may not be a part of ABA, you know, accredited or big time law schools. You're probably an underdog like me, and you know, being an underdog sometimes it's challenging, you know. I mean, we're not going to beat out Stanford grads when it comes to picking and choosing resumes, but I'm sure there is a part for you, part for me somewhere. A lot of our students end up becoming public defenders, and you know, rather than chasing money, I feel like I may want to do that, but I also want to do small business litigation. Like, but either way, for sure, I want to litigate. I want to go to court. If they try to search who I am, they're gonna see, you know, a school that's not as good as theirs. But you know, I don't give up. You know, I did first year 3 times, 3 years. So I don't give up. So I may lack in skills, I may lack in intelligence, meaning like my intelligence is more geared towards creation and making things out of nothing. But their intelligence is more about, you know, learning the system and, you know, going through the system faster. Whereas, you know, I've always tried to challenge the system. I've always known that I'm not part of the system, and that's why, you know, they don't like me. But you got to be honest with yourself, and that's who I am. And you can't change who you are, you know. So hopefully, you know, I can make a positive influence in your life when it comes to passing this exam, and hopefully with the videos that I'm going to make, you'll watch them and do what I did, you know, and pass the test and go on with your second, third, and fourth, and you know, hopefully go out there in the legal profession and, you know, help out people, because I feel like real lawyering is not about, you know, car accidents, dog bites. And it's good for making money, I guess, but you're not really doing a service, you know. I guess getting someone money for the damage that they have, you know, experience, I guess that could be a form of service. But in my case, I think I want to, you know, help people, and hopefully you will too, because, you know, money is good, you know, it'll give you a good life, but some people are not cut out for that. And yeah, so this is just short of 40 minutes. Became longer, but yeah, I thank you for letting me speak, and hope that you will end up passing the baby bar exam with my help. And later on, after I make a couple of videos, I'll try to leave my email or something so you can email me and ask me questions. You know, it could be a specific MBE question, or what I've learned through all these failures or whatnot. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.